Hello and welcome to our channel Daddy, Dad and Me. We became a family last summer when we adopted our son after starting our adoption journey back in 2018. As you can see from the channel, we have lots of vlogs to help prospective adopters and other adoptive families on their journey to parenthood. We have vlogged all about different aspects of our journey, from stepping foot right inside the adoption agency, the assessment process, and more recently, parenting little man. Here's today's vlog. Hi everyone, welcome back. I thought I'd record somewhere different today, so as you'll see behind me, I'm just in front of the garden. So whilst my husband and little man have gone out for a walk, I have taken the opportunity to record today's video. As you'll see from the title, and pretty self-explanatory here, we've spent the last year in lockdown, and it has been the most craziest year, parts of our lifetime ever. So I wanted to make this video, almost obviously quite a reflective video, but to look back on it in years to come, I hope, and hoping we're not in the same situation, because our normal, and everybody's normal, has not been normal, and everything that we had planned, that we envisaged that our first kind of moments would be as parents, hasn't happened. Obviously a lot has. So yeah, I just wanted to make this a reflection on the last year, parenting in a lockdown, like millions of us around the world. And yeah, just if anyone else feels the same, I hope it kind of hits a chord with you and you can reflect too. So going back really to where we were this time last year when Bojo put us into a lockdown, we were in a bad place. We'd just had notification of a legal challenge, and that was, it was kind of expected and not, and it still, when it did come and on the day it came, it was hard, a really hard pill to swallow. And then obviously the courts were then in disarray. Nothing was happening. Everything literally was shut down because they didn't know. Obviously more and more was being found out about the virus, but they didn't know kind of too much about it. So with regards to courts, we knew nothing. We were kind of told it would pick up quickly. That wasn't the case. And then it was 12 weeks before anything actually happened for us, and 12 weeks in a normal world is quite long, 3 months, but when you are stuck at home and the only place you can really go is to your local supermarket or your local park, that's it. At one point we obviously weren't even allowed out, and then we could go out for an hour's exercise. 12 weeks indoors, one, we drove each other crazy, and it was really hard to deal with the video calls that we were doing with little man and his foster carers, because he was 2 at the time, so he didn't have much interest in it. And it's hard when you're at the other end and your emotions are all over the place. And we did have days, and I'd probably say weeks, where we just thought, I can't do this, it's really hard to go on. And again, the world was in a state. Nobody was doing anything, everybody was at home. Obviously by this time I was still working at home because I had to cancel adoption leave for what we had originally planned. So yeah, 12 weeks of that was really, really hard. And yeah, our mental health suffered, and people around us could see that it was hurting us, and obviously other people. And as much as you try and stay positive and to kind of think of the end result, it was still really hard. And I don't think anyone really understands where we were coming from, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but having been in our footsteps, and even the professionals we were talking with, it was very much kind of, let's keep going, but there was never any point really for us where it was like, how are you? And it was a struggle and there was no support, I'm not going to lie. And that was hard, really hard. And yes, obviously then when we did finally get going, introductions, they had to be risk assessed within an inch of their life. And obviously due to the virus and kind of everybody around, we had to make certain kind of arrangements. And then you're having to look on places like Airbnb had shut down all of their accommodations. Then we're having to message privately, explain the situation. We managed to basically find somewhere. And then when introductions were going on, as you'll see from one of our videos at the time or shortly afterwards when I did a vlog about it, you can't go anywhere anyway. You could we only went to a safari park and outdoors, and there was nothing much you could do. Not that we had arranged to do anything else, but the introductions were all planned around that, and they were all outside more or less. So there was a lot of stress, a lot of emotion that we kind of nobody had really factored in. And yeah, it was just a weird time. And obviously, I'm hoping we'll never go through this ever again. But yeah, it was just such an odd time for everybody. And then, obviously, once Little Man came home, we had planned to do all of these things, and obviously he has met some family, but the majority he still hasn't met in person. He's met some of them on Zoom. We have met some in person. So there's all that kind of catching up to do, and all of the places we wanted to go. We wanted to have a little holiday before we started school. We're not sure if that's now possible. And yeah, it's just such a weird time to think that we have spent this whole kind of lockdown period in some capacity, whether we've been in lockdown or tier 2, 3 or 4, whatever we were in. All Little Man has known is that it's normal to wear masks. We go to the park or we go outside a lot, and we've been able to see friends, obviously a one-on-one situation and with their children if they're under 5. But there are things we've wanted to do other than that, and that's now going to have to kind of happen in the few years ahead, within half terms, summer holidays, etc. And yeah, just a really weird time. And it's only when obviously recently when people have been speaking about what's kind of happened the last year and things we've done at home, I do think, how on earth have we survived at home for? But you just do. That's your new normal. We are apprehensive about what life is going to be like in this new normal, because I don't think we're going to be going back to what we were before straight away. I think the world has definitely changed. Our world has definitely changed. And yeah, we are apprehensive about that because we don't actually know what life will be like in a normal world with Little Man. Our world for the last 9 months has been, you're in a bubble almost. And yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how kind of things pep up and how we move along in the coming months. And then obviously we're busy preparing him for school as well, and I hope by then we don't maybe perhaps have the bubble situations that they are at the moment, because you kind of want to make the start of his school life to be, again, as normal as possible. But if anything the last year has taught us, you just kind of have to take each day at a time. And as we've shared before on the vlog before, like your mental health, I think you really have to take care of that. And we've found new ways to do it this year. And I think having Little Man, you teach yourself how it's so important to have that self-care, and that parent guilt kicks in. And it's a blog I'm actually in the middle of writing, because you do have that parent guilt. You feel you should always be doing something, and the actual practicalities of it, and for your own sanity, I suppose is the word, you need to have those time out moments for both of you and together without your children around. And I think I've mentioned on one of the vlogs before, but one of our health visitors said to us, you were a couple before he came along. Just remember that, and you still have to remember to do things as a couple. but then you still do things as a family. So they are my ramblings for today, and it's crazy when you look back on the last year and all that's happened. But if anything, from what we got from our assessment sessions going through the adoption, and for anyone watching this, it's all about resilience, how you handle things, how you bounce back, and whatever has been thrown at us the last year, we're still standing, thank God, and we're still going, and you're kind of finding new ways to do things, and we're obviously excited that things will hopefully, touch wood, start picking up, and in the coming months we can start, I think it's from this week, we can have 6 people in our back garden, and then you can start up in that, and that's the really exciting bit. And obviously we hoped years ago, pre-COVID, that we obviously would never have this situation, but yeah, and it's for anyone going through the process. And obviously the process has really changed. All of it's virtual, which obviously for us it wasn't. I say we went into lockdown literally straight after matching panel, so we had a lot of physical meetings. So the process has changed, and I don't know going forward if that still will happen. Not sure. But just stick at it. I know there's moments where there's a lot of waiting, and you're waiting on other information from other people, or due to COVID there have been delays, but just take some of the light in that. Things are going to start picking up soon, and we know there are thousands of children in the care system awaiting adoption in their forever homes, and just know that in my head, this is how I see it, again, just my own opinion, when it's all right, it will all happen as it should. And yeah, just keep going, don't give up. Because we had those feelings last year, and it's very real feelings. I'm not dismissing them whatsoever, but just keep on going. Find your focus on something else, whether that be a hobby, whether that be you enjoy doing something else, if you want to do some more research, want to do some more learning, or just connecting with other adopters. I've recently formed with 4 other adopters a group called Wanted, Loved, Adopted on Instagram, and just another community of adopters. And there's loads of things we've got coming up, and we just want to create an inclusive place for lots of adopters and prospective adopters and people who don't even know anything about adoption and maybe don't want to adopt, but they just want to educate themselves and to learn about the process. So come along, Wanted, Love, Adopted on Instagram. And yeah, it's always nice. We've had loads of messages recently from people who have been struggling with various different aspects, and we've been helping those. And just always nice to hear from people that are going through the process. And we have guided and will guide and advise as much as we can, and it's so nice to see and hear so many adopters going through the process, and it's that can only be a good thing. So those are my ramblings for today. Any questions at all, daddydadandme@gmail.com, or on any of the socials @daddydadandme. Hope you're all well. Please do take care, and I'm sure we'll be around soon, very soon, for our next video. Cheers. Bye.